Hey there, filthy animals. Mr. Dirty back with another episode of the GTM show. And today we've got a frozen burrito on the show. And we haven't had those on in quite a while, which, lately we've been having like all these throwback type stuffs where there's like products that I forget. Oh, we haven't done one of these in a while. Let's get one of those on the show. We've done so much of this in a row. Let's stop and let's switch off to something else, and boom, we go to an old favorite. So we used to do a lot of frozen burritos on Porta Patty when we were running that segment. We haven't 100% killed that segment off, but we've tried to incorporate as much of that back into the regular show as possible. Who knows, one day we might fire it back up again. But until then, frozen burritos are going to be found, on the regular GTM show segments. Once again, it's going to be from El Monterey. This seems to be like the go-to usually for frozen burritos, although nowadays we see Reds, we see Amy's. But this is one that stood out to me, and it wasn't just the fact that we were picking up a case of these at Costco, but just the particular kind. Normally we see like beef and bean, or bean and cheese, or chicken and cheese. This time around, they're bringing us from their Mexican grill line, the Carnitas Burritos. So there you go. There's the package you're looking for if you're looking for this in stores. I'm pretty sure you can pick these up as singles or at least smaller packages or boxes of these things. You don't have to go to Costco and buy a pallet of them at a time like we did. Hopefully these are good, otherwise we're stuck with a bunch of these things. Back of the package here, barely legible. You're going to need a magnifying glass for the list of ingredients, but there's the nutrition fact chart going on right there if you can pause the screen and read any of that at all without glare. Over here, list of ingredients. Good luck on that. Cooking instructions are microwave and oven. The oven has us cooking the burrito at 375 degrees for 18 minutes, and then you're supposed to move it around or something like that and cook it for another 18 minutes. Nobody has like over a half hour to be cooking a burrito unless you're going to be cooking up the entire case for maybe a large to moderate family, or maybe you're some kind of wanker that's like trying to impress somebody. Your average person is going to be throwing this bad boy into the microwave. So that's what we are going to do. The microwave cooking instructions are cooking it on high for 2 minutes and 45 seconds if cooking from frozen state. We will not be cooking this from thawed state, so I don't even know what the cook would be on that. I'm going to go run down to the microwave, nuke this up. We're going to come back and see what we got for our El Monterey Mexican Grill Carnitas frozen burrito. Stick around. All right, guys, we are back. We've got our El Monterey Mexican Grill Carnitas burrito out of the microwave where it's been in there for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. They did say to let it stand for another minute and 45 seconds after bringing it out of the microwave, or at least after it's cooked, to let it sit in the microwave for a minute and 45 seconds, so we did that. And before we get into this thing, let's just read the description on the package. It's supposed to be seasoned pork, beans, roasted tomatillos, Monterey Jack cheese. So for anybody that was wondering if it was beef, chicken, or pork that we were getting into on these carnitas, boom, there you go, pork. Back to our finished product, though, and bam, there you go. There's our finished burrito. I know not much to see right now, but what we do see here are these grill marks. If you remember on the package, they did show us the grill marks going on there. So, yeah, they were already there. I don't know if they're painted on or if this is branded. I mean, it's kind of like Braille. You can kind of feel them when you run your fingers across them. It's a very puffy burrito. It does seem to be cooked thoroughly. I mean, it was in frozen state, but like, is there like a reach underneath it here? And it seems to be cooked all the way. I won't know until we cut into it, which we're going to do here in a second, and get a look at a cross-section on this bad boy. So there you go. All right, so I'm cutting it in half right now. It's got a nice little, like, sweet, seasoned kind of scent going on there. All right, I just cut it in half, and I can feel the center of this thing is still ice cold after 2 minutes and 45 seconds ride in the microwave. I wondered about that because it didn't say to wrap it with a paper towel or anything, so I'm not going to do the reveal of the cross-section just yet. I'm going to run downstairs and nuke this up. Do a real quick jump cut, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I am right back after just microwaving this for an additional minute on top of the 2 minutes and 45 seconds that they suggested on the package due to it not being cooked thoroughly. Now, as you remember on the packages, they always say, or until cooked thoroughly, so they leave it open-ended for error there. Anywho, bam, there you go. There's your cross-section on these pork carnita burritos from El Monterey right there from the frozen food section. You can see now our cheese is all melted and gooey and pouring out of there. The pork does look cooked thoroughly now before, I have to admit. Before when I felt it, it was still cold. Before I had to go nuke it again, it did look a little pink. But right now, looking pretty good. So let's give this a try. All right, so I got a bunch on the hook right there. Hopefully I got everything, a little bit of the pork, the cheese, the rice, the everything down the hatch before this falls apart. All right, not bad. Extremely cheesy going on there. Very goopy. The pork itself, it's big, huge chunks of pork, as you saw. lightly seasoned with what seems like some sort of a green herb, maybe cilantro, something like that, but just lightly. Very hints of what might be a Southwestern seasoning, like a taco seasoning, but not much at all. Almost to where you'd have to really be searching for it, like I was. Maybe I'm just imagining it's there, but there seems to be something else there than just like salt and peppered pork. The pork itself, like I said, is big chunks, and it doesn't seem to be fatty. It seems like a good quality chunk of pork. It comes across tasting a lot like a chip of beef. The rice is there in texture, not much in flavor on its own, unless that herbiness is coming from some kind of cilantro or something mixed in with the rice. But overall, like I say, it's very light and faint. It's not like soapy, anything like that. The cook on this is completely way off. So I would say even right now, it's warm, but I'm skeptical as if it's cooked all the way thoroughly. And I think if in hindsight, if I was to cook another one of these, I would probably be adding like maybe 2 minutes onto the cook time, maybe picking it up, moving it around on the dish or something on the halfway mark. Right now, I can't say if I'm going to be finishing this or not, but if I do, I definitely have some hot sauce and some sour cream on standby. But like I say, right now, the cook time on this is all off. They said 2 minutes and 45 seconds until cooked thoroughly, which we added an entire minute on there, and I'm still like at the point to where I think it needs like another minute. That's way off. That's beyond until cooked thoroughly. That's beyond a reasonable margin of error on some cooking instructions that are pre-printed on a product. So huge fail there on the cooking instructions. The flavor on this is pretty good. Like I say, it seems to be quality pork, a lot of cheese. As for the other stuff, like the tomatillos and the beans, that stuff's there. It seems just like in the background. Like you just find this stuff in all frozen burritos as like just stock filler. Just something to give it some substance and bulk it up. But at the end of the day, it's that stock filler stuff that leaves it kind of tasting like just another frozen burrito. So for the El Monterey Mexican Grill Carnitas Burritos, even though it's a step above an average burrito, at least it tries to with the cuts of pork and everything, I still can only give this a solid 3 out of 5. Still just a standard issue frozen burrito filled with stock filler ingredients. At the end of the day, I just can't see myself buying this again. I'm Mr. Dirty. It's the GTM show. Don't forget you can buy these knucklehead shirts and hoodies down in the description. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Real Mr. Dirty. As always, get out of here and go have a rotten day.